Yo, 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 welcome to another edition of the Geeky Bros podcast. I'm your boy Tactix.
Yo, it's just Darcy here.
It is Big Geek Umar. How y'all doing today?
It's Friday. I've been waiting for this day all week. I mean, so is everybody else, but I've been waiting for this day all week.
Amen, brother. Amen to that. How about you, T?
I'm good, man. I'm glad it's Friday. I just had a heck of a week with school, so good to
how'd your test
be.
go?
It was good. It's good. I got 75%,
Sick.
so not too bad. Not too bad. Our final exam is on Friday, or next Friday, so
Oh,
gotta
you
study
won't
for
sucker
that.
punch that bitch.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
man.
Nice. I
Yeah.
like that intensity, Umar. I like that intensity. Yeah. And by the way, what grade you pass in tactics?
What?
You said school. And like everybody watching is familiar with what school you're going to. So
Fair enough. I'm studying to become a massage therapist. So
There it is, right there.
Yeah.
There it is, right there. All right. Yeah, that sounds good. Like you're on a good path right there.
Yeah, trying to, man. Trying, All right. Well, what's on the agenda, Umar?
Sorry, I was gulping, and I was like, can't say nothing right now.
There's too much dead air. It got a little awkward.
I was like, I don't want to say more. I was like, Umar, take it. I was just like, wait for it to happen.
I could have said more, but I mean, it's not the show for that. So I was like, maybe just move on. So.
I know. I was like, if I start asking questions, and the whole podcast will start to be about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like a geeky can also mean people who like athletic stuff or like a massage therapist.
No one's tuning in for that. No one's tuning in for that.
Okay, so just another reminder to everybody that if you have a specific topic you want us to talk about or want to get to in our podcast after the live event, just take a look in the descriptions and see the timestamps. Click to your topic, and you can be taken right to it. So the first topic of tonight is going to be about the return of the CW's Superman and Lois, Season 2, Episode 1. So we're going to review that today. It was released, I think, on Wednesday. And I'm going to reserve my thoughts until after I hear my bros' thoughts. So, Tactix, let's start with you.
Yeah, I for the most part I enjoyed it. It didn't really give us a lot to really review yet because they're just kind of getting into the season, so kind of hard to really assess where they're going with it. It seems like the way they opened it up, it seems like there's drama going on with Jordan and his girl. I was a little confused about Jonathan and his girlfriend. Like, did they just recast some chick, or is that? Like, who is that? I don't know.
I think that's some different person. Like,
because I know he was crushing on some other chick in the last, and then she just disappeared. So I was like, wait, did I miss an episode, or
that is accurate? That is accurate to high school, like I guess. Like,
I guess. I mean, yeah.
And it's supposed to be like they're all away for summer or whatever. So of course, he's a quarterback. Like, summer. It's time to change your outfits as well as your girlfriend. So
my man moved on quick though. He's not thinking about that girl at all, bro.
It's because he has to know how to throw him, So these guys
done. Well, see, his arm is done being broken, so he don't need the old one. He's gonna start throwing with the new one.
Thank you for the support, girl. Hey, I can now do this.
But yeah, I mean, the episode was all right. Again, it didn't really give us much in terms of where it's going, other than the end credit, and of course, spoiler for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, giving you the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown warning. Well, actually, no, we've actually kind of already spoiled it in the title, so fuck.
I didn't want to say it because I liked your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I just realized I'm the one who made the title too. So, but yeah, I don't know. So actually, I was reading, and apparently, it is confirmed that I don't know if what we saw at the end of this episode is actually Doomsday, but the showrunners are planning on introducing Doomsday at some point. And I'm a little mixed on it. Yeah. On one hand, I'm kind of like, okay, well, it's kind of a little early to be introducing a character like this. And it's like the only way to do that that character Justice is to kill off Superman, and I feel like you don't kill off Superman in the second season. You just don't do that.
So then,
But
the
if
next
they,
season is going to be Lois.
yeah, it's gonna be Superman X'd out, and
Yo,
then Lois.
hey. That means that they will definitely increase their focus on the females in this show. 100%. Literally, just he's
Superman
gone.
just gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna head out, you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
so
one more quick thing.
yeah,
On the fact of bringing Doomsday in, though, this is for Umar right here. Okay, they will literally put in more time than Zack Snyder did. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
fair.
Okay, if the CW does Doomsday better than Zack Snyder, I feel that's a burn on his entire career.
I'm not disagreeing
Okay, but
with
yo,
you.
as long as they do it better than they did in Smallville, because as much as I like Smallville, that was a terrible iteration of Doomsday. The fact that they made him human for most of it, and then just did some weak ass transformation at the end, is pitiful. But so I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, and if they do it this way, then I could potentially be on board with it, because it seems like we've been introduced to a new army general or commander or whatever the case may be, and he's got like the two new super, like the superior Negro and then the other girl, right? So it seems like they're making their own like kind of like Superman kind of thing. So apparently it seems like they're doing a lot of experiments behind the scenes. So what if they found Doomsday and they're experimenting on him, like trying to make him this like lethal weapon, like subjecting him to all kinds of like, you know, diseases and like different kinds of trying to figure out different ways to kill him, and he kind of evolves, and then they just build on that, maybe not like continuing from this season, but they don't actually release Doomsday until like maybe season 3 or something like that. I could get behind that. I don't know if they'll actually end up doing that, but if they're just trying to hint at what's to come in future seasons and building up the momentum, then I could get behind that for sure. But anyway, in terms of what I felt about the episode so far, it was good. It was all right, you know. And that's all I can really say.
Okay, Darcy.
I don't know, that end credit scene with the hand coming out. I mean, it looked like the mech suit from John Henry or whatever his name is, right? But once I saw it underground like that, I just immediately was like, is this Doomsday? Like, are we getting Doomsday episode 3? like, you know, like, and I didn't even like, it's just anytime a super powerful villain appears from under rubble, I always think it's Doomsday, because he always, like, in so many adaptations is just like, and they find him. It's like that one stone you shall not unturn. Superman is going to have to save the day, you know, like that kind of stupidity. Yeah. But first of all, I also, because I forgot about it, Googled the Smallville Doomsday. Hate the human version because that makes no sense. And then I'm looking at the picture, and it looks like as if like Michael Myers cosplayed. Like that's what it looks like. it looks like when when the 90s horror film guys like Jason is like, I'm gonna go to to the Comic-Con, but I don't want to be myself, so I'll dress up like this, right? Like that's it's pathetic. One thing I gotta say I love, though, going back to Tactix talking about was it Jonathan having a new girlfriend, is I loved Tyler Hoechlin in the background, where he's like, oh, come on, like, because he's like, she's like, oh, you just need to calm down, just talk to the coach or whatever. He's like, oh, that's why I knew I was dating her. I'm like, first of all, such a condescending line, but second of all, the dad in the background just being like I just said that shit, like, you're just gonna like cause she pretty, like come on. Also kind of random, because I was just looking up, because I want to make sure I was forgetting which son was which one. I was gonna like make sure I get the names right. I was looking up like the cast, and ironically the actor who plays Jonathan Kent's name's Jordan, and his brother in the show is named Jordan, so that's gotta be confusing as all hell. I wonder how many bloopers they have where it's just like, Jordan, yeah, oh, not bad.
Jordan, I need you to turn to face Jordan. It's like, what do you what
Yeah, there's like that. Yeah, that someone's got to just be messing with you on set at that point. Yeah. Overall, I mean, the episodes, they're not gripping me, but they're also like not bad. I enjoyed the first episode. I was excited for the second episode. Like, in terms of like just, oh yeah, I definitely wasn't like begrudgingly wanting to step into it. I was like, oh yeah, first episode is enjoyable. Um, these new like super people. I love how you said superior Negro. They're killing me. Just died
Can we
over
like
here.
point that like hashtag?
Yeah, but like, ironically, I'm more interested in them than I was in all of the super people from the last season.
Yep.
Because at least with this one, it's like the last one, I was like, okay, first of all, they're all like supposed to be equal powered, but they're obviously weaker, but they don't really give you a clear like definition on where they are in the scale, because sometimes it's like Superman can't fight this one, and then he taking out 6, and you're like, where is the power scale here? I'm so confused. At least these ones we clearly know they're not going to be full on. Like she took her like 4 hits to take out that rubble. Like Superman not going to take no 4 hits to take out that rubble, unless he has another migraine like he's been having, which what's all that all about. But
I think that's tied. Sorry,
yeah, I'll let you throw that in. But like, yeah, all of overall, like, I'm more intrigued by them, even though I'm sure it'll turn out to be some BS and I'll just hate it later. But
you
I'm
know
just,
how the CW works, Darcy.
yeah,
I see that you get it.
yeah, I know. Like, well, I mean, we saw the first season. It's like right now we're in the prime time of Superman and Lois season, which is the mystery part of it. It's once they start showing you the mystery they built up with all the big bads, we're gonna get like 50% of it we like. So yeah, I'm just enjoy this time right now. It's the honeymoon phase of the season, right? Okay. So yeah. That's why I'll leave it there. Umar, what were you about to say?
All right, so like I found the episode to be passable. Like I'm kind of like with you guys. Like it was all right. The things that I liked, Tyler Hoechlin still killing it as Clark Kent Superman. Like hands down, loving it. I love the talk he had with the kids about like sex. It could have been a little bit more intricate. He left a lot of like a lot to be desired. Like he just like respect the people you're with. I'm like respect needs to be clarified. But like nonetheless, like I also like basically when he comes home and he's like, our son was having sex upstairs in his room, and he's like, oh come on, Jonathan, I trusted you. So like
Yeah,
I
good dad
also
stuff
love,
there. Yeah.
I also love that like when he's having to talk with the kids, and he's like, when did you have the first time? And he's like, older than you guys, and they like look at each other. He's like, oh, and I was like, they know their dad's a geek. um, and I actually, oddly enough, I like his dynamic with the new army guy. However, I will admit I'm a bit biased because, and this goes out to all the Teen Wolf fans who like love Teen Wolf, and also Tyler Hoechlin, who was from Teen Wolf, but also the army guy was one of the main bad guys in Teen Wolf and played the uncle of Tyler Hoechlin. So like they had a lot of scenes together, and it was actually one of the draws of the show. So like seeing them back together again. Also at the same time, I like the dynamic of like an American general who isn't his like father-in-law is basically saying, dude, be loyal to America. And he's like, yeah, that's not what I'm about. And he's like, well, then you need to be about that. And it's like, yeah, not gonna happen. And he's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I'm gonna get some super kids. And I actually kind of liked the fact that he brought up. I was like, he's being very nonchalant about the fact that they stole his family crest, and then they brought it up. I'm like, okay, I would rip off the family crest, but that's just me. I'm petty. Um, I will say I was not enjoying the Lois drama regarding Natalie. It just felt like they were trying to create drama out of nowhere. But like, cool, they're trying to like talk about like a mother who abandons their child. It also does kind of explain why Lois is the way she is, and also like their husband's the way he is. So like, or I should say her father is the way he is. So like that was interesting, but like I felt it was handled poorly. It felt like a dude was writing about like a very female like specific sort of thing, and
Probably
it's like
was.
And it probably was. And so that's why we're again getting a very half-assed Lois thing, but we're getting like perfect Superman thing. So it's like regarding Doomsday, all I just want to say is people stop bringing up Doomsday. Stop, and definitely I'm with you on this Tactics. It's episode 1 of season 2. This is not the time to start and Doomsday is not far away. He's like climbing from the center of the earth. That means he's like a couple of weeks away from like taking it to the top. So okay, are we going to have like Superman die at the end of the season and like Jordan step up and then Superman come back to life? That's going to be interesting to tell Smallville, but nonetheless, okay. Also, I could not give 2 shits about Jordan and his like girl being like,
Yeah.
I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
And also, I could not care less about Lana. Just just
that whole family. I just don't need that whole family.
just take it all out. Take it away. Take it away. I don't need that shit. Just do more character development on other characters that are interesting. Hopefully women. Like Natalie needs a lot more time to grow. We can like replace Lana with all that shit. And also the same with like I don't even remember the person who works with Lois, who had 1 scene in the entire episode. So like just we don't need the Lana stuff. So yeah, that's like I'm enjoying it for Tyler Hoechlin. I enjoy Superman and Clark Kent. That's where my bread and butter is. I like the aspect of like he when he saved the sub, I was like, is that a North Korean sub or is that a Chinese sub? And I'm like, because like, either or, there's going to be some issues. The fact that he just like dropped it back on like the thing, and then like they actually brought it up. It's like you could have swung it by America, and I'm just like, ooh,
no,
that's a good conversation right there.
I'm liking that part of it. Like I like the fact, well, one, it's an American show identifying negative American interests, right? Like the dominating aspect of it. So that's nice. And yeah, it's really good. I'm with you though. That the whole Natalie thing though is like, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I just need to ask. I understand she's a teenager. She literally came from a world that is destroyed, and she's upset about that?
What do you mean the fact that you don't believe that she's upset about it, or you don't think that she should be upset about it?
I understand they're trying to show that she's angsty, but I'm like, she literally found her father again. She escaped a planet that is destroyed by Kryptonians, and she's in a world that doesn't have that shit, and she's angry about the fact that she's in a world that does that?
Yeah, like there's a part of me that's like, I actually could see that the mourning would turn to anger for certain personalities, but they're making too much, like they're not.
They're not developing it.
Yeah, not developing. I don't want it to be like explicit, like this happened, so this is why I feel like this. Like I don't need like drawn out, like heavy-handed. But yeah, it's just like it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like the funny thing is like you're talking about like Lois talking about her dynamics with her mother. I totally forgot that part of the conversation even happened. Like, because that's how disinteresting I found that conversation. The only thing I actually liked about her and Natalie when they had their dialogue was the very end of it. And I was like, all right, this moment, the acting, like a lot. The conversation we started and how we got here is a little heavy-handed, but this part's all right. Like this very last moment, you ended on a good note. But yeah. By the way, sorry, I forgot to say this. I was going to say this about the submarine thing, but that submarine scene, like just the actual lifting of the submarine when he came out the water, I was like, that is some dope ass Superman shot right there. That is legitly a good shot, and also like really good for TV budget. But I also know because I've watched so much VFX stuff now, I know why that one's good for TV budget. It's you can do Superman really really well if he's in the distance.
Okay.
Because none of him is real. It's just CG. So the whole thing's CG, so it's cheaper.
What I was saying about like him having like these headaches and stuff, I think that's a throwback to Zod being in his head.
Yeah, I feel like that, but I want it to be done with. Like that story.
No, I'm with you. I mean,
it's not bad if they say like there's like a concussion level type thing that's happening with him. Maybe it'll be all right, but I just hope it's not like Zod's power is still kind of there and it's affecting him, and then I'm like, I'm done with that. But I don't mind it being like, he's not completely invincible. It takes like a planet to like, give him a migraine, but he's not completely invincible. So
How about you, T? What do you think?
I just hope that they don't. So now that Natalie is moving in with them, I hope that they don't go the the cliche route and start to kind of try and build or force some sort of romantic relationship with one of the boys now.
yeah, we all
That's
thought
a half sibling right there. Like genetically speaking, that's a half sibling.
Yeah, that would be weird as fuck, huh?
Is
That's
it?
incest, yo.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not advocating for anything, but I'm like, is it though? Like, is it?
Genetically speaking, yeah, it's like maybe not on a quantum level, but genetically speaking,
Yeah, but CW is weird enough to do some shit like that, yo. So that's
they're weird enough to go Game of Thrones level. I'm like,
I think so, man, because you never know. Like they'll try to do some kind of weird shit and like hint at it and be like, no, this is wrong. We shouldn't do this or some shit like that. Like try to like dramatize it.
Bro, chill. You starting to sound like CW turn into the PH website. I'm not trying to get as a copyright strike or something, or whatever ban YouTube's got, but you know what I'm trying to say. You're like, no, my stepbrother. Like, that's where you going with this. I was gonna say that it'd be like yeah, they're like genetically, but then they've always said stuff like, oh, the wavelengths of the planet or the universe is different, so therefore like the genetics are like literally upside down.
Yeah, she's born in a new universe, guys, so it doesn't even count, yo.
I don't know. It still feels like massive amounts of incest. But that's just me.
Yeah, no, I mean, let's be honest though, it probably all crossed their heads when they moved in. You're like, man, some stupid ass love triangle. Cause CW ain't gonna be CW unless they can find a way to put One Tree Hill into every episode. every show, Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if they go there, that'll be the end of the show for a while.
Yeah. 100%,
Can you imagine the fan reaction? People will be like, hold up.
Yeah, you might see a whole strong following in that show at the same time. It'll teach you a lot about the world.
Okay, on that note, moving on. So our next topic for today is we are going to be discussing, well, actually, hold on. Like last time, where Darcy and Tactix had to convince me to watch Arcane. I haven't watched it yet, but like I plan to. I actually do plan to. Darcy and I are going to do a similar approach with Tactix regarding the Book of Boba Fett. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, Tactix is hesitant when it comes to space sci-fi. He's okay with like on the planet sci-fi, but I can barely see your Bruce Lee, man, because your thing is.
Yo, I don't know what's going on, Tactix, but your apartment's clipping through your magazine.
Oh, I may have upset some of our viewers. So, Courtney, I have watched the first I've watched the first 2 episodes of Arcane. I stopped. But the boys, like, they're just like, no, you gotta watch episode 3. So I'm gonna watch episode 3. I just been a bit busy, but that's what this weekend's about. So sorry about that. And Maybot, let's do it. Anyway, so the Book of Boba Fett.
I love how you're responding to stuff, but you're not actually saying what you're responding to, and then nobody knows what you're responding to, bro.
Maybot knows. Maybot knows.
No, I remember this is a podcast, right?
Yeah, I was all I'm saying. You could say what they said, Umar. What did Courtney say, Umar? Let the people know.
Well, wait, hold on. Can't we? There we go. So
There it
that
is.
that was what Courtney said.
No, but
So,
for the viewers that are listening and not watching,
so Courtney said in all caps, Umar, you haven't watched Arcane? With 3 question marks. That is fair. It's fair. And then Maybot said, let's watch Arcane. I also haven't watched it. And I'm just like, yo, straight up Maybot. And then Courtney's like, it's so good, you gotta finish. You'll love it. After hearing what the bros and also what you have said, I believe you. So I will watch Arcane. Now, Book of Boba Fett. Tactix has not watched Book of Boba Fett. He's not. And Tactix, am I right in assuming that you weren't planning on watching it?
nah, but you guys have been kind of egging me on to go and give it a try. So
Okay, so we're gonna officially do our sales pitch for the Book of Boba Fett. We may use a little bit of spoilers, but I don't think you'll care.
nah, spoil away, man. I really don't care.
Okay. So spoiler review and also recommendation from Darcy and I to Tactix. Darcy, let's. I want you to start. I want to pick off where you left off.
No, man. You always make everybody else start first. I want you to start first, and I'm gonna come in as the closer. I'm gonna come in as the closer. I got my pitch ready, but I'm gonna come in as the closer. So you go first, bro.
Oh, okay. All right. So I will say that personally, I was not caring or wanting this show. Like, people have talked about Boba Fett since I've been a kid. They're like, oh, Boba Fett this, Boba Fett that. I'm like, I don't fucking care about Boba Fett because he got thrown into the Sarlacc pit. Sorry, Sarlacc pit. And like, yo, he's just a dude with a helmet on. Like, what's the big deal? I didn't read no comics. I didn't read the books. I didn't apparently watch the cartoon. Nonetheless, I didn't get the appeal of Boba Fett. And then when Mandalorian came out, I'm like, yo, Boba Fett was lame. And then in season 2 of Mandalorian, when Boba Fett showed up and like Tamor Morrison, like, granted at the time he was a little bit more gutsy. Now he's definitely trimmed out. But like like when Boba Fett showed up in like I think it was like the second last episode of season 2, I was like, see, this is what I was missing in the original trilogy. But watching this show, I will say one thing. I have become a huge fan of Tamora Morrison. He's just cool. I didn't realize it from well, how could I, based on like Attack of the Clones? But like I liked him in Aquaman, even though he was a very like small role. I think he was one of the voices of Moana, so I liked him in that too. And then in this, I'm just like, I'm loving him. And this is a oddly very soulful, like he's almost like a warrior poet in a way, even though he's not doing poetry, but he's like a very zen type person, which kind of makes me think that you actually will resonate with him, Tactix, because it's very spiritual in how he is and also how he recovers and where he's going. Like, it seems the reason he wants to rule parts, like a big part of Tatooine, is not for power, but actually because he's seen how badly it's been run, and he's had to like basically rise from the ashes to get to where he is right now, and he wants to do better. So like I think seeing his journey from like the Tarlac pit and also like with the Tusken Raiders, like I think that's the part of the show that's going to really appeal to you. It also has some like nice action sequences, but also it has occasionally a bit of a weak action sequence. I would say that in a friend's group chat, we were discussing that the show, like, I guess you could
don't take from my pitch, bro. Don't take from my pitch.
Fine.
Okay,
This is why I want you to go first.
Don't take any of my words, bro. Okay.
Fine. You go next, and if you don't say what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say it afterwards. So Darcy, you're up.
First off, Tactix. Did you get any of Umar's references when he was mentioning stuff from Star Wars? Like,
shit, I forgot.
Did you get any of those references?
So I remember what happened to Boba Fett in the older movies.
Right. Okay.
So I got that reference. Everything else.
Okay, cool. All right. I want a level set. I wanted to level set. Okay, first off, Tactics. you remember the original Star Wars, real Luke Skywalker and all that stuff? Do you remember that place they would go to in Tatooine that had the really big fat dude? And we all remember the Leia scene where she like had to dress up with like no scaling.
Yeah, Jabba the
okay.
Hutt and,
So Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, so think of that place. And also let me ask you another question. Did you like The Mandalorian? Like season 1, season 2?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so take everything you love about The Mandalorian. Now think of that place with Jabba the Hutt, and now think of an adventure that's not about taking a child and trying to protect them, or a grown man that looks like a child. And now imagine a man rising from the ashes and taking over that place where Jabba the Hutt was, with all the suspense and the action and thrill that you love of The Mandalorian. Does that sound like a good idea for you?
It's a pretty solid pitch.
And there it is. Umar's just like so mad.
No, but Umar,
I see how it is. I see how it is.
No, but Umar, you had me. You had me at the Zen stuff too. So
okay.
I'll give you credit for that.
I knew once you like the Zen in, that was good.
To you, and you're just like sitting there and like just eating your popcorn, but like I'm all waiting for this motherfucker to stop talking.
See, I think I know about Tactix. It's like all the Star Wars stuff, it's a wash. So it's just like you just gotta pick the good parts. It's like this, you like this, you like that, you put them together, and that's what you get.
Yeah, like my geek level is like here, and yours is like it's through the roof, guys. So you were like talking, and all I heard was like wah 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 zen
yeah
wah 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 wah. I was like, oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, I will say that like when Umar hit the Zen party, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good part of his pitch right there. The episode 2, you'll really enjoy.
Yeah, episode 2 is hit home for me. Hit home hard.
Yeah, it's very in the Zen, and you don't see this very often, but it's he has to interact with a group of people that they don't speak the same language, and they have to exhibit through actions, and come to a common, and it's like this long story for like half the episode that's like him becoming part of like a tribe through his actions and his behavior. And they, even though they're warriors in like a desert, there's something about them that feels very deeply spiritual, and yet you never get a word from them the entire episode to understand their like spiritual nature. You just kind of feel it through the screen. And episode 2 is very strong. I just think you're just gonna love it.
Okay.
So to say what I was going to say about the show is that I was talking about this in one of my group chats, and a buddy of mine was saying that the Book of Boba Fett has a very strong video gameplay style. Like the way the story is, it's like, okay, here, get out of the Sarlacc pit. Okay, here, get free from the Tusken Raiders. Okay, here, go get the tree. And all the way, like even like when like Boba Fett gets that like big oh my god, the creatures just popped out of my brain right now. Maybe Courtney, do you know what it's called again? I can't remember.
You're good, man. The two of us are gonna be like, okay.
I know. I hate the fact that I can't remember right now. But like when he gets the creature, and like is like tickling it, and also like it's kind of like you could see like a gameplay being like, do you want to tickle the Tusken Raider? Press X, and you're just like,
Tickle the Tusken Raider is a very different game.
No,
I'm
nervous right now. I'm nervous right now. It's like, I'm fucking up.
We're going right back to that other website we were talking about. Tickle the Tusken Raider.
No. Oh no. So Courtney's saying, wait, what? Sorry, can you repeat the question? The question was like, I'm not sure if you've watched it, Courtney, but like, do you remember? I'm just gonna Google it. I'm gonna Google the creature that Boba Fett suddenly earned from Danny
What I
Trejo.
feel like a sarlacc or something like that.
Sarlacc. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so much.
It just kind of came in my back of my mind as you're like struggling there.
I appreciate that. So yeah, like when he gets to Sarlacc and he tickles it. Anyway, so I just
Doesn't
find
sound
that
better.
like
Does not sound better.
I know, but nonetheless, like I will say that I don't mind the fact that it's like a game. I think in many ways, I think it actually makes me more endeared towards it. But nonetheless, like I am enjoying the show significantly more than I thought I would, and it's surprisingly soulful and surprisingly artistic. Like I
Yeah.
didn't think it would be artistic. I didn't talking about tactics like the Zen and like the spirituality aspect of it. If you had said to me, Umar, if like the only way I'm going to watch the show is if there's like actual like some levels of spirituality in it, I'm like, bro, you're never gonna watch Boba Fett then. like don't even bother. And now here I am, but like, T, you need to watch some Boba Fett.
Two quick things. One, in terms of like actual Star Wars video games, they recently had one. I forget what it's called, but it was like a really big hit, really good storyline, really good experience. It was actually the actor in the game who is the main character is the same dude who played Jerome, the Joker version in Gotham. Well, yeah, Gotham, yeah. The only good thing of that whole show. So yeah, he's actually the main character and everyone loved it. So it's when you say that, it's like, yeah, I won't be surprised if we see a Boba Fett game come out like next year or later this year.
So Maybot is saying, I'm liking Book of Boba Fett more than I like Mandalorian.
Ooh, strong
It
words.
brings more history and culture to the universe.
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
I actually didn't. That's a really good point. It does. It kind of makes the world more lived in.
Yeah. It gives you more, I want to say, aspects that the Clone Wars gave you, like the animated series, where you would experience more planets and stuff like that, and you get to feel stuff. So this one's centered around Tatooine, but you're still getting a lot of understanding of it. So that's very, very positive. One thing I gotta say though, Tactix, I'm going to forewarn you. The end of episode 3 though has the worst like
Car
speed.
chase?
Yeah, I want to say car, but they're not cars because they're all floating. But the worst chase ever. It took me out of the scene. It's like the slowest fast chase I've ever seen. All the sounds like bing, 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 and then I was like, what?
It's like I almost want like someone who directed the Fast and Furious to be like, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
yeah,
it was so underwhelming. And I was sitting there, I'm like, this is going on for too long, and their weight is too slow.
Oh, it's way too long because it's like they have the stock Star Wars sounds because of course they would have access to the stock Star Wars sounds. So they have these sounds for these speeders, right? But because they're on set, and yeah, I know, but because of the way that they're filming this show, they don't have as much physical landscape, so they're literally driving on things with like green screen on the bottom, so they can cut out the bottom of the ship, and you can tell that they're just driving through the small amount of room, so they're not going that fast, but the sounds are like twice as fast at the speed that they're going. So I'm just like, I'm like messaging Umar. I'm like, this is the slowest fast chase I've ever seen.
Honestly, like it kind of so like I'm not sure if you guys remember, but like in Terminator 2, near the end of the film, like when they've just been hit by like the truck. No, sorry, they hit by the helicopter. They have to get out of the police van and get into like this like compact car while the T-1000 comes with this big like truck. And the guy who played Edward Furlong, who plays John Connor, he goes to to Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like, "Yo, step on it," and Arnold Schwarzenegger is like, "This is the vehicle's top speed." And it's like going like 65 kilometers an hour, and Edward Furlong's like, "I can get out and run faster than this." I'm like, literally, we all could run faster than those speeders. That's just like we could literally chase them down, and I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, I honestly feel like when we've seen what's her name? I forget, but the his side I want to say side chick.
Oh, Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah, when she's like running across, like there's like an episode she's like doing parkour basically, and like
yeah.
she's literally running faster than these things are going parkouring across buildings. Like it's like
Tactics. You
it's
get
worth
to
it's
see
worth the laugh
Ming-Na
though.
Wen do parkour.
Is
Just
she
watch her
actually
do
doing her own
anything.
stunts?
Let's just assume she is, because it's Ming-Na Wen and we love her.
Yeah,
Fair.
she's awesome in this show, and she's like a perfect complement to the Boba Fett character.
Yeah.
Like they yeah, I I can't, I don't want to spoil it. It's just the falling scene, and then like the fear. That's all I'm gonna say.
Also, it's nice to see a Wookiee that we're actually scared is going to beat the
Oh,
fuck out of you.
they have a
And
Wookiee in this. I had to message Umar. I'm like, you're like, what how do I phrase it again? Oh, let me see it. Let me look at my message. It was like,
T, you remember Chewbacca is a Wookiee.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
so you.
yeah, I'm sure. Everyone knows what a Wookiee is.
Hey.
I fair. But yeah, I bet like
Yeah.
like he made Chewbacca look like the chill cousin. Like
Yes. Like he had like like a brass knuckles with like spikes and electricity coming out of it. And I was like,
yeah,
and he punched the motherfucker that way.
yeah. It was basically everybody versus Black Wookiee. Like, that's pretty
Yeah,
much it.
Black Wookiee kind of took them.
Oh yeah. That he's strong. There were people hitting him in the back, and it was just like turn around, smack them.
Oh, Maybot actually, the name is Black Cranston. That's pretty dope.
That's the name of the Wookiee?
Yeah,
Black Cranston?
yeah.
Cranston's kind of let down, but
What would you want to call him then?
I don't know. Black beatdown. Superior Negro. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, he's awesome though.
So she pronounced it Kersantan. Kersantan.
Oh, that sounds better. Yeah, Cranston. Cranston just like
He's dying, man.
like you imagine you get your ass whooped and he's like, "Who beat me up? Cranston." Ah, man, shit.
It reminds me of the dude, the dad who played in Malcolm in the Middle. What's his name?
Yeah, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
It's called Black Cranston.
It's the black version of him.
Oh man, that's my fault, internet. I apologize. I butchered the name.
Yep, that's all good. That was good times.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, T, what are your thoughts? Like, you guys convinced me about Arcane. How about you? Are you now interested to watching Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, you guys have sold me on it. Like the main resistance I had going in, or originally before going in, was that I'm not a big fan of derivative characters. So I felt like this was just kind of like a rehash of Mandalorian. And I was just like, okay, I'm not really interested in that. It's kind of like when you watch Batman and then they come out with a Batgirl movie, and it's just like, okay, it seems very similar, and it just wasn't really. I just wasn't really all that interested. But based on what you guys are saying, I'll check it out and give it my 3-episode watch before I make a final decision. So
that's a solid decision.
Yep.
All right. Moving on. All right. So our final topic for tonight is about disappointment.
Fair.
And the current representation or personification of disappointment. We're going to review The Matrix Resurrections. Now, for those of you who don't know, it is the latest film in the...
that
what
picture,
where did you find that image?
That's how the movie should have been. That should have been like John Wick mixed with Matrix. It would have been a better film. I'm already spoiling it, man. I'm just sorry. That picture's amazing.
Anyway, I wish that's what the movie was about. Anyway, so they recently released the 4th Matrix movie, and it is, for me, a disappointment. But to be fair, I wasn't really... there were 2 things against this film to begin with. One, And Tactix said it, like when we reviewed Spider-Man: No Way Home, you should not have had this movie come after Spider-Man: No Way Home, because the high from that, it was a definitely large fall. So like, if we had seen it first, it would have been like meh, but now it's just like that's some bullshit. So that's one thing they had going against it. Second of all, they made the damn movie. Like this was such a complete waste of time, and like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna finish my thoughts later. I'm gonna do what I do and pass it along. Tactics, let's go with you,
man. Yeah, I was very vocal about how excited I was to watch this movie for several podcasts leading up to the release. And mainly because I am a big fan of the first movie primarily. I appreciate what we got in Reloaded and Revolutions, even though they're a far departure from the original movie or the first movie.
I hear you.
I felt like there's like good stuff sprinkled into each of the second and third film to make it, you know, cohesive enough to, because we got a final conclusion, I felt, right? You know, regardless of how much of a jumbled mess the sequels were, it felt, the storyline felt complete. And even though they kind of alluded to the potential of, you know, Neo coming back and everything, I felt like it wasn't really necessary. But then they announced that they were going to be doing another movie, and I was like, okay, you know, like I could revisit this world again and see where they go. And what pissed me off, and by the way, the movie is trash. We've already established that. Like, it's just terrible. I feel like it had, like, if you were to give like a synopsis before going into the movie, like if you heard the synopsis, you'd be like, oh, that actually sounds pretty interesting. Like when I heard about it, I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Like I don't know why everyone's kind of like tripping out about it. And then you go in and it's just like this wasn't it. Like not at all. So a lot of problems with the film. Like I don't know, for one, like Darcy mentioned at the top of this segment, like this is the movie I was expecting that we were gonna get, like a John Wick iteration, like variation mixed in with Neo. Like that's the movie we all want because we all love the John Wick movies. And you know, instead of giving us that, you just get a lot of like force push shit and no martial arts. And even the little martial arts that we got is like subpar at best. Like it just didn't impress me at all. The guy who plays or is supposed to be portraying Agent Smith, terrible job. I hear he's a great actor, music theater veteran and all that stuff. That's great. That's all fine and dandy. But as Agent Smith, nah, he did not do it for me. I think they should have got, and probably I don't think they'd ever be able to get this guy, but if you guys remember, I think it was Matrix Revolution. So when Agent Smith finds a way to
the dude like
that
took over.
Yo, that dude did a amazing Agent Smith.
Yeah.
Like Hugo Weaving impression was on point. This guy, he was not doing it for me at all. Like it was a far departure from what I'm used to. So he was terrible. Yaya, I can never pronounce his name, but the guy who is supposed to play Morpheus, hated what they did. He's a great actor. I've seen him in other stuff, and I think he's phenomenal. I think he's another one of those rising stars, up and coming kind of thing. But I just hated what they did with the Morpheus character. They basically shit all over the original Morpheus, and it was like you're making fun of like the stuff that made Morpheus amazing. And then on top of that, and I was saying this off camera when we first discussed it like a week ago, where you know it's the three like
the Holy Trinity.
Yeah, the Holy Trinity, right? You have Neo, you have Trinity, and then you have Morpheus, right? So each time those characters are on screen, they have a certain type of presence. There's a gravitas that they bring to every scene that they're in. And then, you know, you kind of get that from Neo a little bit, but it's kind of like it's not all the way there. And then obviously what they do with Trinity, it's like Trinity you don't get that wait until the end. And then Morpheus is just kind of like a throwaway character. It's like there's no, like there was one part in this where Morpheus is in the scene, and I didn't even, if you blink you miss him. Like, and it's like this is a main character that you're just sidelining for one, and then also shitting all over the original material. So it was like I hated that. Yeah, the movie is just terrible. It didn't have a good storyline. I didn't like the architect. I didn't like what they, and the thing that made me the most upset is that I get that they're trying to be all meta and everything and whatnot, and like, but
preach.
They just took it way too far. It's one thing to go meta, and then it's one thing to just be like, okay, are you just now like trying to reflect and like project your feelings of like what really happened to you, like, because like basically what this movie it comes across as like Lana, is it Lana Wachowski that was yeah so she the studios basically, from my understanding, they said that, okay, well, we're planning on making another Matrix movie, and we're gonna do it with or without you. So, yo, what up with it? And she was like, okay. So she reluctantly created this movie. But I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, if you weren't planning on doing another movie, and the only reason why you want to do this movie is so you can retain the rights, but you don't give a fuck about this franchise anymore, then why go through the effort of creating the movie in the first place? Just give it to someone else and have them do it. So I just didn't understand. And it shows that she just does not care about this franchise anymore. Everyone phoned it in, even Keanu Reeves, which I was like, I thought he, out of everyone, would have brought it home but maybe he's preserving himself for John Wick. I don't know, because he didn't do any fighting. Shit was trash. Shit was trash. I'm sorry. I had to go off. I'm done, man. This was an insult. This movie is a fucking insult. I'm sorry.
Yo, Tactix, can you do me a favor? Can you throw up Courtney's review from the comments there?
Yes, please.
It's the big message. It's the big message.
Oh, yeah.
No, that ain't it.
Higher up.
It's bigger. It is bigger than that. 0 to 10 for me. This dude in front of me, squeaking his chair, hitting his knees, and laughing through the whole thing was more interesting than the film.
Facts.
See, I didn't have that, so you enjoyed it way more than I did.
Yeah. Oh man. Yo, you mind if I slide in here at this point? You mind if I throw my thoughts out here?
Take it.
Yo, this movie is so dookie. Like if you put this before, you put this before Spider-Man, I'd be worried that people wouldn't come see Spider-Man because they're done with the theater. You know what I'm saying? I watched it. I mean, I won't lie. I knew this was bad. Leading up to this, I was like, I don't remember the Matrix movies all that well. And I just knew, like, this feels unnecessary. And I'm just trying to think of all the places I want to talk about, with the problems I have with this film.
That's going to take you, like, there's a lot of problems with the film.
So 100%, like, as meta as they went, they literally should just made this, like, because this whole idea of like he's a game designer, and he designed a game called The Matrix, and like that's what the whole first series was, and it's like, okay, whatever. Like, if they're gonna go that far and freaking meta with it, they might as well just say like the new incarnation of him was John Wick. Like, this new character he's creating is called John Wick, and then he acts out John Wick. But I honestly think, Tactix, you're right. Like, as bad as this movie, like him phoning it in and all that stuff, he probably was preserving himself for John Wick, because he ain't got no time to. The one thing I will say, the good thing that came out of this movie, is that the man donated, like, out of his 12 to 14 million, he donated a bunch of that money to charity. So, I mean, the best thing out of this movie is the charity that it involved, because it ain't making a profit. So, like, this movie, like, and I also saw in the comments, I think it was Maybot or Courtney said that this might be for the next. Maybot said this might be for the next generation. I don't think this is for any generation. Unless Okay, So things that I hated. Okay, when we got to that meta scene, I was pissed. I was pissed watching it. They're like sitting around talking about, well, why can't it be derivative? Why can't it be like all this stuff? I'm like, you are literally showing me the dumbass WB decision making in the film as if it's funny. Which one, it's not even, doesn't even fit the tone of the film. Even when we got to that point, it didn't even fit the tone of the film for me. It took me out of the film, which was saying a lot, because it was bad, and it just pissed me off because it was like all the stuff that you guys and I've been upset about with WB and their bad decisions. It was like they were like trolling us. I just like no, I'm not happy with it. Two, I have like Tactix has like specific things he dislikes to see in a film, right? Like he doesn't like to see a villain as the main character, right? One thing I really dislike this film did, which is I hate when a film finishes and it feels like the beginning, like it feels like the halfway point of a story. And what pissed me off of this one is, okay, so we spend 2/3 of the film, like we spent a third of the film, sorry, getting Neo, right? Then we spend the next like act of the film of Neo basically like being, I need to get Trinity, and then the last act of the film they get Trinity, and even though it's like long as all hell at this point, my brain is like, okay, we finally got the pieces in place. Now let's move forward with the story and see like what the big antagonist is, and like film's over. I'm like, I wait all this time so this man can get his girlfriend. This whole film led up to the man just getting his girlfriend. It's like the biggest 2.5-hour waste of my time. On top of that, where's all the green? The Matrix, when they were in the Matrix, it always that green hue. This felt like CW. Like, look at this set in the background. This set right here looks like a cross between Mortal Kombat 1 and the new Mortal Kombat we just got. The whole fight scene here, like the backflips they were doing and the way the scaffolding is, like all of a sudden you're gonna hear, get over here, and Scorpion's gonna pop out of nowhere. Like that's what this scene looks like.
Are these people? I totally forgot they were in the movie.
They never explained them. They never explained them.
And why is Morpheus dressed like the Joker?
Yo, that's facts, bro.
Like, I didn't know that till now.
Yo, Jack Nicholson, he stole his steez, bro.
Yeah, like
this man stole Jack Nicholson's steez, bro.
I gotta feel bad for our girl Jessica Jones, not Jessica Jones. I'm getting that wrong. But what's her name?
Jessica Henwick.
Jessica Henwick.
I actually liked her in the movie, and I love her as an actress.
She's like the best part of the whole film, in a sea of trash. But here's the thing. I feel bad because I heard that when she was auditioning, she had an option to choose between auditioning for The Matrix or auditioning for Shang-Chi. It wasn't even like she auditioned for both and made a decision between the films. I heard she had to make a choice of where to audition, which is like, that's a pretty bad choice because like at this point you got no idea about what the film is going to be like, right? And so and I heard that Umar, you said before that she thought did Asian representation, but actually I heard a counterpoint.
She chose she chose Matrix because Matrix actually gave her a script, and like Shang-Chi was like, no, you don't get anything.
Well, actually, I heard another point that another thought as to why she chose it, because she wanted to keep her character in Iron Fist alive, and once she went to Shang-Chi, effectively the character would be gone. But I mean, I respect her for that. But let's be honest. Look at the main character. You isn't coming back. Like Iron Fist, like that show ain't coming back in any capacity the way that it is. And like, to be blunt, if they recast Iron Fist, they're not going to bring back the sidekick. Like, I'm just like, sorry. Like, I mean, they love you that much. They'll bring you back to Marvel, but they won't bring you back as a character because it's a waste of time. Yeah, that's just
okay. So
this so sucks. This movie sucks.
Okay. Before I go, Ron R typed in TD1. Like, capture that. Ron R is saying, I feel like it took too long trying to develop what happened. Then I started to lose interest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I disliked it the least out of the two of you, but that's because I anticipated it to be bad. So for me, I found that there were some interesting aspects, and I'd say aspects of this movie. One, I did like the fact that they, were heavily criticizing the original trilogy for kind of like side. Oh, you all right, Darcy?
Sorry.
Oh,
Courtney
sorry.
is killing me today.
Oh shit!
Did it like legitimately, Courtney? You were 100% correct. I have seen Snapchat filters more convincing than this.
What actually is interesting though is the actor in on the right is actually Carrie-Anne Moss's husband in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
First off, I didn't think that was a real person. I thought that was just CGI. So that tells you a lot there.
That's what I thought too. But no, apparently it's her husband in real life, so it's super meta.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting.
Unnecessarily.
Anyway, so yeah, like I found it rather interesting how they were trying to like basically retcon the fact that Trinity was just like a side character. She was given so much like importance in the first film, but like was only ever her entire character was meant to identify Neo as the one, and that's pretty much where it left off. She was just a tool to kind of like prop him up. This movie was kind of like, but now we're going to use him to prop her up, and I found that to be an interesting idea. Not well executed, but like I'm appreciating the attempt. Secondly, I did find the transition of philosophy to psychology a rather interesting move, and I think that's where Maybot is saying like it's for the next generation. Like psychology is probably a little bit more prevalent for the next generation as opposed to philosophy. That's just my take anyway, how I see it. So I did like that aspect. I like the fact that Neil Patrick Harris was kind of like bringing that forward. And I liked that Neo and Trinity get to share some time together. Like like even though their scenes were very like few and far between, you can tell these two love each other. Like in the sense of like these two actors actually love like working with each other. And I will even say that the press corps, surprisingly, like the film they phoned it in, but like you can tell they're happy to do press together again. So that's all that I liked about the film.
Well, he actually said he wants her to be in the next John Wick movie.
Yeah,
I want that. I want that too.
Yeah.
Because like she. Okay, so this now I want to start shitting on it because like this is the stuff I've been holding back up until now because I've been trying to be fair. How can you take Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves and make them look like bad action heroes? These people defined action heroes for a generation. And this movie, if you had never seen the first three films and watched this movie, you'd be like, these people really shouldn't transition into action because they don't know what they're doing. This movie made Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss look like bad action heroes. And that is a insult that I will not forget for a while. Like, I can't watch this movie again because I can't watch these action sequences again. Like that picture you showed, that the entire fight sequence of that scene with people we don't even fuck who they are. But like, yeah, like that I think was the worst because not only did everyone like I couldn't make out what the fight sequence was happening. It like I'm watching it. I'm like, I don't know what anyone's doing.
I don't even get why it was even in there. Like, what? The scene was totally useless.
The fights were useless, and then then we had like Neo take on like the new Agent Smith, or I should say the reformatted Agent Smith, and that like they're throwing like wide punches and like throwing each other across the wall, and that's it. It was just like it wasn't even boxing. It just was like a bunch of like teenagers like pushing each other around with like super strength. And other action sequences were awkward. Like the scene when Morpheus slash Yaya, I feel bad forgetting the rest of his name, but like Morpheus and Neo on the lake within the construct. That was an awkward action sequence. And I actually felt bad for both of them because they didn't even look like they were trying to make it work. They were just like trying to like get through the day.
Mm.
And this is the Matrix. This is why are you making the fight sequences bad? They literally invented bullet time.
And then they shat on that.
Bullet time. So I'm just like, oh, thank you, Maybot. Yeah, it's Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Abdul-Mateen. Okay.
Yeah. Quick question. Do you think that WB rehired the company that edited the original Suicide Squad to make this film by any chance? Just thought that came to my head when we're talking about this action sequence in this photo.
No matter what, we know that they got a completely different choreography team this time around, and like those people need to go back to school.
Yep.
Man, if they had gotten like the stunt team from the Raid to choreograph this, oh, that would have been fucking sweet.
Yeah. You know what though? I want to give some credit to the people who did the choreography here, because one thing I've learned watching a lot of stuntmen react stuff is a lot of times it's not that they don't know what they're doing. It's a lot of times it's that they know what they're doing. They'll come up with stuff, and then like the producers and stuff will be like, yeah, you know what would be great, and they just force them to do a bunch of stuff, and then they just edit it weird. So like they'll film stuff and not even use it properly, or they'll be like things they want them to do things that are very illogical just so they can get a visual, right? That like, and it doesn't end up translating. So I'm just gonna assume that the stunt people who worked on this film actually know what they're doing. And
you know what? Fair
other
enough.
people made decisions all around them to made them look like they're amateurs or before amateurs.
Fair enough, we know Keanu Reeves is a guy who like loves his stunt team. We know Jessica Henwick like is beloved by stunt people, and she's beloved coming out of like Iron Fist, and everyone hated Iron Fist. So like, fine. You know what? I will actually take that, and I apologize to stunt coordinators, and I blame the people who made and edited Matrix. And final point. Oh, I forgot I was like so angry about a whole lot of other stuff. That
the movie sucks.
There was another point that of which I was very upset. Oh yeah, okay. Jada Pinkett Smith. No, T. I want to see all of your reactions. Like when I say it's like,
oh Lord, have mercy.
Okay, I can understand someone trying to like be. I don't know what was going on there. Like, I like her a lot, but I didn't like this role. Like, I like the fact that she's running stuff. That's cool. But like, I didn't like her acting of being old.
It's how people pretend when, like, the way she acted is how people pretend. Oh, I'm old. Oh, I'm old.
Yeah. No, like I said, it was like I felt like she was playing charades and no one else was in on it. Like she was like, it's like, what are you doing, girl?
And we know she can do better. See, that right there, we know you can do better, can literally be scripted to every single person involved in this film. We know you can do better. What the fuck?
You know what I bet happened with this one? They didn't give her a script till the day of. She shows up. She got 1 day to shoot, right? Because she didn't get all that many scenes, and they're all pretty much in the same spot, right? So you got one scene, you got all this makeup to do, and I bet you this would happen. Like literally, she was there for like 10 hours to shoot, and I spent 8 hours doing that makeup. And she spent, and it was learn your lines and just get out there and get it done. And you're like, all right, have a good day, guys. like, I bet you she spent less time acting on this film than anything else in her involvement in this film.
Yeah, just yeah.
Sorry, go on, Umar. I didn't want to
No,
cut you off.
I'm done.
No, I was just gonna say to your point earlier when you were talking about how they transition from philosophy to psychology.
Yeah,
that's an interesting point. I agree with you. I just wish they would have fleshed that out a little bit more, because when you're watching the original Matrix movie, philosophy is sprinkled all over that movie, so you're really immersed in that, right? Whereas psychology, it was just kind of like, oh, we're gonna give you like one little scene where like the setup is like Neo is talking to a therapist, and that's our psychology for the day, and then they just kind of move on from that. It's like if you were going to use that psychology aspect, I would have much rather they get into that world a little bit more and kind of integrate that into the Matrix, not into the Matrix, but like into the movie. I mean,
yeah. And okay, I will say that I enjoyed how they were able to rationalize psychologically speaking why he has the doubts he has. That was interesting. But like again, like you said, like nothing is fleshed out. It's just it's like used as a gimmick. I'm like, and the same thing about like I like the fact that they finally called out that men very, very consistently in films always take away the agency of the female characters. And I like the fact that Jada Pinkett Smith was kind of like, yo, don't take away her agency. She's responsible for her own shit. And then she like proceeded to yell at her. But I'm like, okay, that's a really good point. And also, I'm also really glad that you also spent the whole movie talking about how like Trinity was kind of just used to like prop up one character. And then it's like, okay, let's do the reverse. But then like it was just handled terribly. And it's frustrating because it's like, it could have been done better, but because they were forced to do it, they chose to kind of make it more meta. And I like what Courtney said, like up in the comments, was like the best part of this movie were the clips they added of the original movies. And I was like, I actually found that to be an interesting aspect of it. It was like, oh, we're going to repeat things, but then it's like, wait, hold on a second, it's different. Or hold on, do you remember when this happened? And then it's like, oh, well, we can remember how good the film series used to be.
Yeah. I feel like, so remember when I used to send, and just to give context to the viewers and the listeners, sometimes in our WhatsApp group, I used to send like, there's a guy, I forget the name of his channel, but what he would do is he would go back to like old superhero films that like were critically bashed, and he would rewrite the stories and he would like explain the narrative from his perspective of how he would fix some of the issues with movies that a lot of critics had. I wish that he would take this and do the exact same thing, because now that like Umar, I think the fact that you highlighted on the whole psychology aspect, I feel like there's a good movie there if you expand upon that, because I appreciated some of the meta stuff that they were conveying, and the fact that like all of this Matrix stuff was like supposedly in his head, or so he was led to believe. So I was like, okay, like go like lean into that crazy angle and then explore that. Now like you've now deviated from the philosophy stuff, so now explore the psychology and him trying to kind of figure out what's real and what's like not real, you know what I mean? But like from a psychology perspective, right? So I feel like the material was there. It's just was very poorly executed.
Honestly, like I was thinking about this, like after when I was driving home from the movie, if they had just focused on the fact that Neo wasn't sure if he was Neo or if he was like Thomas Anderson, and instead of showing the people on the outside trying to contact him, it's like we don't know if those are actually his delusions coming back. And the entire film is you're you're seeing psychology and his faith of being someone else actually happening, and like the climax of the film is him taking a leap of faith and realizing he is actually Neo. That actually would have been a much better film. Okay, and I said take a leap of faith, and it reminded me of the one actually really cool scene in the film for me was when Neil Patrick Harris made all the citizens of the Matrix just jump off like out of the buildings, out of like rooftops to just like be like bombs.
Yeah.
Like human, like that was fucked up and cool.
That dude that just woke up in the middle of the night, left his girl, and jumped out the window. I was like,
yeah, I was like, holy shit! Because like that, I was like sitting there like this, like watching the movie. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, imagine if that was a one night stand though, bro. Like she's like, was it really that bad?
Or like, I love you, and it's like
worse.
Oh man.
Yo, I think I'm falling in love with you. Gotta go.
I'm just falling.
Oh man, like yeah. So yeah. So any final thoughts for you guys?
I got one. Umar, I like your pitch. I like your pitch about like the whole leads up to is he Neo or is he not? My pitch for how to rewrite this and the trilogy that they want to do off of this is they're in this movie. They kept showing this idea of him moving, him as Neo moving through the world and people being awakened. And I talked to you guys about this offline. I think that a way the movie could have been really, really good and set up for a great trilogy is they bring back Neo and he's awakening people, and you get into the he's like the Messiah character, whatever, and you get into a dichotomy problem where some like they try to wake up a large group of people, whatever, and like they want to wake up everybody, but they can only wake up say 100,000 people or some craziness, whatever, right? And not everybody wants to leave the Matrix. And the whole thing now is about the next film, like figuring out what to do with it, because you have a civilization of people that are happily that don't want to be in the Matrix, and you got a civilization of people who happily want to be in the Matrix. And what does that mean? And
so basically, people who were taken out that are so integrated in it that they can't actually live in the real world.
Yeah, and
I like that.
People have different viewpoints where it's just like, why would I want to be in this post-apocalyptic world when I could be this? I was happy. Like my heart, my soul, my mind is fine. Why does it matter where my body is? Right?
Yeah, like think of it like it's someone who actually is like genuinely happy in their life, and then they're taken into the real world and they're like, why did you do this to me? No, you know what? I like that. I do actually like that.
Because like people keep talking all the time, especially since Elon Musk said this and the other thing, like, are we actually living in a simulation? It's like, well, what if we came out of this and we found out that that's what the real world was like? I don't think the majority of us would want. We'd be like, no, hook me back up. Like stick that USB up my ass. Let's go. Like I don't want this. Like, so I think that would have been a better thing. I mean, anything could have been a better thing than what we got. But that's my pitch.
All right. Yeah. Passing it back to you, T.
Are we done? Is that how we're ending it?
Unless you have any final thoughts that.
I'm pretty much over this movie.
I feel so bad how I remember how excited you both were.
I was very well. No, Darcy didn't give a shit about this movie.
Oh, so he
got exactly what he wanted.
I got exactly what he expected.
Yeah, that's a bad way of putting it. I was expecting this to be not as bad as it is, but completely unnecessary.
To your point, though, Darcy, did you hear about the? I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch the video I sent about the Simpsons prediction or whatever, and they're talking about Elon Musk wanting to create a way to do some kind of neural link where it basically links you into the internet and shit, so we'd actually be plugged into the Matrix. Like that's crazy.
I don't think it's Elon Musk wants it. I think Elon Musk was saying that that the metaverse isn't going to make as much sense, and that where technology will go, really being tapped in would make more logical sense to a neural link, because he says a lot of things that people always interpret as his intent, But it's like it's not his intent. He's just intelligent enough to know and look at something and go, this is logically where things would actually make more sense, or this is how things would actually work, regardless of if he says what he wants. I don't remember if it was his intent or not. That's all.
All right. So
well, he's working on going to to Mars first. So once he gets that going, then maybe that'll be his next project.
Yeah, you never know.
All right. Quick question before we wrap up. What would you give this movie out of 10? Oh, T, you look so angry.
I'm gonna give it a 2. No, a 3. It's a 2. 2.5. Just because I enjoyed I enjoyed seeing Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss together again. I want them to do another movie, but like a good movie. So yeah.
So
wow.
final
2.7. Right. No, 2.3. Yeah, final answer. That's
2.3. Like, and carry the 5.
The point 3 is for charity. So
all right, Darcy.
Holy wow. I love that. Like, for me, in my mind, like anything that really scores below a 7 is kind of pointless anyways. Like, so I was like, the difference there is hilarious because like it's not making it much better. It's not giving it anything. Like,
yeah, like what would a 2.3 be like worth? Like it's like it has to be on in the background, and like it's like you have no other form of entertainment kind of thing. Like the power is out. You got like 50% left on your laptop.
Like honestly, this movie isn't even at the level for me to put on in the background on mute while I make music. Okay. Like, there's not even enough visual there because the visuals go all over the place. They're not consistent enough, right? Like, you could put Matrix 2 on in the background and that would be better because there's cooler visuals and, and like spandex. Honestly, this movie is the hardest of hard passes. I'll give this a 2.3 if I never have to see a visual from it again. But honestly, this is like a 0.5.
I will give this a 4.
How is Umar like giving more points than us combined? It's always the opposite.
Because, yeah, but like, okay, T, you got to put it Ron Art and Courtney's scores on this. So Ron Art says can't score. So I'm gonna take that as a 0. And Courtney's like 2.3 is very generous.
Well, okay, a 2.3 represents like, if my neighbor has it on and I can see it through the window, like that's a 2.3 for me. Like I'm doing work and every now and then I'll glance over. I'm like, oh, I remember that scene. That's a 2.3 for me.
Oh my god, it's like a drive-by movie. I got hit by some of those scenes. It's all right, though. It's in my peripheral, It's over here. Yeah, you got drive-ins right now. We got drive-by. It's like the worst.
Oh man.
All right.
All right. Well, I guess that'll do it for today's edition of the Geeky Bros podcast. Once again, I'm your boy Tactix.
Yo, it's just Darcy. Never wanted to see that movie ever again.
And this is Big U Umar. Happy to never see that movie again and forget that it happened.
Coming from a guy who gave it a 4.
It's not a pass. It's not a pass.
Still double R's combined. It's like literally Ron R, Courtney, Tactix, and myself. Points are not as high as yours. Because that's 2 zeros and 2.8.
Yo, Maybach, tell me you're on my side on this one instead of 4.
She's not.
No, she's sliding a strong 0 to 1.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like Ron Harcourt, me, and Tactix.
No, I'm just saying, the whole audience is not behind you right now.
I was being objective.
Oh man.
Objectively nice.
Yes. I guess so. Yeah. Anyway, please like and subscribe, everybody, and hope to see you again next time. Take care, live long and prosper, and I don't know why this. I don't know what to say.
Oh, we done. We're done.